Can you hear me?
Hey, man, can you
Hey,
hear me?
yep, looking good.
Hey,
Looking sideways, but looking good.
let me try this again.
There we go.
Um, how's that?
That looks great, man.
Yeah, brother. The world that we live in 2020, Scott.
No doubt, huh? It's amazing.
Yeah, man.
There's so many things bad about it, but there's so many things like this that are great, man. Here I am in your humble abode there, man, pretty much, sitting next to you. We're having a chat. It's pretty cool, man.
Hey, man, this is Command Central right here, brother. This is where this tiny little cubby hole. This is where all the magic happens.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's great. And I have my little hole here too. And when we bought
Yours
this
look, yours looks good, bro. You got way more space than me.
house. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
You got way more space than me. I need a bigger room for sure.
Yeah, when we bought this house, I had to buy a room. I had to buy a house that had a room to have all my crap in it, all my vinyl and all my CDs and all my music stuff, and but that's a good thing, right?
No doubt, man. Well, good on you, man. It looks like you have it all
Yeah,
together in one spot. Looks pretty organized. I'm impressed.
well, it has to be, man. My wife says, everything is alphabetically ordered and everything, and it's like, how would I find anything if it wasn't? It's got to
Oh,
be.
bro. No, listen. It's so true. That's another good thing about the pandemic. We've all had a chance to get a little organized.
Yep,
In
totally.
the in the very beginning, that was definitely how I spent a lot of my time, man, was just going through boxes and
Yeah, yeah,
trying to make the best of a
yeah.
weird
I was,
situation.
I was gonna ask you, how's it going for you? No, you're in Nashville.
Yeah, we're in Nashville.
Okay, yeah. How's everything going for you? And family's good and everything.
Everybody's good. I appreciate you asking.
Yeah,
And you know, we have two teenage kids, and the whole virtual school thing is a big drag for them.
yeah.
Um,
Are
you
they in
know,
high school?
they are seventh grade and 11th grade,
Okay,
and it's just not fair that they have to. It's one thing for us to have to hold off on work and gigs and travel and vacations and stuff like that, but it just,
right.
I mean, obviously things could be way worse, but we'll be really looking forward when they can get back to some kind of normalcy, be around their friends, and have
Yeah,
more of a normal school experience.
yeah. I just dropped my daughter off at college, and half of her classes are online, and she's wearing mask around campus, and she does have a roommate, so that's a little bit normal, but it's just such a unique, kind of sad experience. She's not really experiencing half the reason she's going is to experience that college lifestyle, and of course,
Totally.
learn some nursing, but she wanted to experience that college thing, and it's half the time she's stuck in a hole looking at a screen. Uh, you know, uh, it is what it is, but we're coping. It's just a different world we're living in now.
It's extraordinary. I mean, you can't you can't not talk about it at least a little bit.
Right.
'Cause it's what you do with your friends and family every day. Hey, man, how you guys doing today? Because every day is different. Some days, gratefully, man, most days are positive and you're
Yeah.
feeling good. There's plenty to do and
Yeah.
get out and go for a run, whatever. But some days, man, it beats up on all of us. So I'm glad you're doing good and glad your family's doing all right.
Thank you. Thank you. Same to you. Same to you. Now you're getting back to a little sense of normalcy, I'd say, by doing this show. Nobody's doing shows. There's a few people doing this type of virtual show to an empty room. I just saw Dirty Honey do one, and it was great. It was absolutely great. You got the light show going. You got it's a regular concert experience from your desktop. Now, I mean, do you find, I mean, it's got to be gratifying and satisfying to get up there and do what you do. But how different is it than, a live show? How do you prepare for something like that, playing to an empty room?
it's different in every way.
Okay.
And there's nothing you can do to prepare for it. You just got to count off the song and play it. And I have found, I did several acoustic live streams early in the pandemic, and we've done 3 as a trio. And I've just found that ultimately you got to do this for yourself. You're doing this to kind of feed your own soul and your own desire to make music with other people that want to do the same thing. And I'm just grateful that my band, everybody's here in town.
Yeah.
I'm really fortunate in that way. It's almost ironic that when I left Black Star Riders to commit full time to a solo thing, that was the one that was the biggest prerequisite. You had to live in Nashville or you couldn't play in my band, period.
Yeah. Hey,
So,
it sounds any other time that would sound pretty harsh,
yeah,
but
exactly.
today in the world we're living in, that was a great move, because now you got rehearsals and these kinds of performances.
Yeah. I mean, I knew that I wanted to work hard and I wanted to work fast. I feel like I'm kind of getting a late start with my fully focused solo career. So I knew we were going to be rehearsing, playing shows, writing songs in the studio, and it's really, we've been able to achieve that. It would be impossible, or not impossible, very difficult to do that if my band was set up like every other band I've been in since 2004. I mean, I joined Alice Cooper in 2004. Everybody lives in another city.
Right.
Thin Lizzy, a different continent.
Yeah, no doubt. Right.
And then Black Star Riders was some of the same guys, of course. So it's been really great, man. So the live stream thing, it's funny because we did a rehearsal a couple days ago in the big room at SIR rehearsal studios, where we're going to do the stream on Friday.
Okay.
It's the first one we've done like that. It's set up more like a proper gig. We're spread out, and it just looks like, you would see us playing at a theater or a music hall or whatever. It's just fucking weird, man, playing
I'm sure
to nobody.
That's gotta be strange.
So, I find myself sometimes trying to find that balance between, looking at the cameras in an effort to make some eye contact. Right. But I'm aware that, wow, this is very strange. This is, and of course, I'm sure you've talked to other guys, the strangest thing is always when you end the song,
right.
Boom, crickets.
Silence. Yeah, it's like we weren't really that bad.
Yeah.
Where's the crowd?
Yeah. The vanity in all of us, especially rock musicians, man, you're lying if you don't give some value to. That was part of the reason you got into this in the first place, was the attention and the adulation and reinforcement that, yes, you are just the most talented human that's ever breathed air. So I miss some of that for sure.
Yeah. Well, when you strike that last chord and, there's that big boom at the end, you want the crowd to go wild. You feed off of that energy. And,
well, and you know what, man, look, that said, Robbie and Jared, my guys, and even Richie the other day at rehearsal, they all 3 came up to me individually and said, man, thank you so much for doing this. Yeah. I feel better every day. I've got something to look forward to. My drummer, he's like, man, I'm keeping my chops up. And so just feels good, man, to give some really talented people something to do. Feels good for me to be able to give my little fan base something to check out and get excited about. And as I think we're dropping a new single on Friday. It's going to be on all the digital platforms. So you were absolutely correct with what you said. It's like it feels a little normal. I have a whole cachet of interviews today, tomorrow, Wednesday. It just
That's great. Yeah, it
feels good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, now Richie is in Nashville too, which yeah, I mean, he's not in the band, but he just happens to be in Nashville. How cool is that?
Yeah, man. I remember when I saw Richie a couple of years ago. yeah, Judas Priest played the auditorium here. I went down to say hello, and he said, "Hey, man, this isn't public knowledge yet, but I think we're going to move to Nashville." And I just, I just hugged him. I was like, "What?" Because we've known each other for over a decade, and we've just become great friends. We've done so much touring together in different incarnations. So just, I still can't believe that he lives here.
Isn't that weird?
Because it's, he just happens to be one of the best metal guitarists making music today, man. The guy is impeccable. And beyond being my friend, I mean, I'm seriously a fan of his playing. He's the perfect blend between, the old school classic metal guys and then some of the, more technique oriented 80s guys that we all loved as well. He's got a great blend of that.
Man, and he is a perfect fit. I mean, an absolutely perfect fit. That Judas Priest album is maybe the best they've ever done. I mean, I say that as a deep, deep, deep fan. But man, oh man.
Well, yeah, man, he's a great fit with Priest, and he's damn sure a great fit with us.
I bet he is. I'm looking. When I heard I was going to be talking to you, and I heard about this show, I went back and I'm a big Thin Lizzy fan too. And, I like the deeper stuff, but Emerald just stands out to me as, I think Live and Dangerous is the greatest dual guitar record ever made. Really.
I agree with you, man.
It's just, the solos and the harmonies on those guitars and everything is just the blueprint, really.
Well, man, I'll share this with you. We've been organizing the set list, and there's a couple places in the set where we kind of replicate Live and Dangerous as far as like how we've sequenced one song into the next.
Yeah.
Because we love that record so much. And I don't think it was an accident that record was sequenced the way that it was. So, man, it's funny because Richie and I were working at his house going over some stuff, and he's like, "Man, how insane is it that we grew up loving two of the biggest bands of that era, and then we both grow up and become professionals, and then we wind up playing in those bands?"
Isn't that great? Isn't that great? That is
it's
just
just,
so
man, it's just, it's like, it's not even true. It's like, that can't happen. Yeah. I'm from Alabama, brother. I'm from a farm in Alabama, out in the middle of nowhere.
Like, how great is that, man? That's just, your story is so great. It really is. Coming from that background and just working the system, working that instrument, playing your instrument, never stopping, just building from, local band to, signed band to, national act, international act. It's just a great story. You didn't walk into it. You don't have, the right last name or anything like that. It's hard work and great playing. I mean,
well, thank you, man.
Story.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm certainly grateful for my resume. And, each one of those musical experiences was a stepping stone to the next. And I wouldn't have been ready for Thin Lizzy if it hadn't been for Alice Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never been ready for Alice Cooper if I hadn't had the Brother Kane experience. So, yeah, man, it just, I think I'm really enjoying, being this middle-aged, guitar-oriented singer-songwriter. And, I feel really comfortable in my own skin now more than ever. I think the songwriting reflects that. Certainly, I know it says something about my whole vision musically that I could attract such world-class players as Jared Pope on the drums and Robbie Harrington on the bass. I mean, those guys are, they're just two of the best musicians I've ever played with. And that's saying something, man, because I've played with some great players.
No doubt about it. Your resume is tremendous. I mean, we're talking about Santana, Sammy Hagar, and Ted Nugent, and Dallas Cooper. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. Pretty good for a farm kid from Alabama. I mean?
Not bad, man.
And I got this thing here. This kid looks an awful lot like you, actually. This kid right here.
Man,
This
That
record,
was
I've had this thing. It was a promo. I've been doing this a long time, obviously. I've been listening to that record since '88, before '88 probably, because I got it as a promo. Um, I never really too much made the connection. Uh, and if I'm right, you don't play on that album, correct?
That's right. Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to tell you, man, the Witness experience was fantastic. They kind of plucked me out of, the Alabama bar band scene. And it was my first experience being around, radio promo people and hearing discussions about picking a single and shooting a video and, you
It was
know,
big time.
trying so hard to get the support slot on a big show or a tour. And man, unfortunately, Witness wasn't able really to move the needle very much and really, take a step further. But man, I loved all those people and I learned so much. And there's no question, man, that got my wheels spinning. Like, well, hey, man, if these guys can get a record deal, man, I want to write some songs and maybe get my own record deal with my band at home.
Yeah. So if anything, it's a great experience, and it's that inspiration to do what you're doing now, with a solo career.
Well, it is, man. And, again, it's so funny because Witness is Witness is the only act from that first half of my career that there was ever any vinyl pressed of it.
Oh, wow.
Brother Kane never had a vinyl release ever. Um,
Really? Wow.
yeah. And, neither did Slave to the System or, really and truly, I guess it wasn't until Black Star Riders that a vinyl came out that I actually had me playing on it in my songwriting. So
Wow.
a lot of those vinyls pop up, man. It shows even across the pond in Europe, people will come to a show and ask me to sign that. So it's
Oh, that's pretty cool.
really cool, man.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now you got Battle Lessons. That's the new single. You're going to be playing that Friday night.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wasn't really sure the best way to integrate that into the show, but we just want to come out of the gate gangbusters with this tribute to Thin Lizzy, and then we're going to cap the night off with with playing Battle Lessons, really performing it for the first time publicly anywhere. And it's a thrill to have Richie standing to my right. And, it was so great, man, to rehearse that with him. And, I didn't have to tell him anything. He figured it out, learned it. He had one question like, hey, man, you want to play this harmony or that harmony? I'm like, yeah, you take that one. One time through, it sounded insane. So it's pretty ballsy, man, to play 13 Thin Lizzy songs and then play your own song and feel pretty confident that you can hold people's attention. So it's good.
Yeah, totally. And I'm listening to the song, and it's got a Brother Kane kind of feel. It's right in that vein. It'll fit in the set perfectly, I'm sure.
Well, I think anytime there's a song that's got a pretty big riff and some tempo like that, it is, I'm proud that it's reminiscent of the Brother Kane days because, man, I felt like we were lucky that we had different kinds of songs. We weren't just a one-dimensional rock band. We had the in-your-face stuff like "I Got No Shame," and I think Battle Lessons is certainly a similar tempo as that.
Right.
And I just love it, man. I love to have those kinds of songs to perform live and having the set. And it's really, really happy with how that song turned out, and I'm thrilled that it's the first single.
Yeah, that's cool. And you mentioned, hey, you want to take this harmony and things like that with Richie, and I'm thinking about that Thin Lizzy stuff, and it's so based on that twin guitar thing, leads and harmonies and solos. How did you decide all of that? I go back to Emerald, just because it's that trade-off. It's this side, that side, this side, that side, and it's these massive solos, and then the coming together. That's got to be pretty. Thin Lizzy stuff's pretty complicated if you're not well rehearsed, you know, and really thought out. How did you decide who's playing what?
Well, that's a good question. Let me back up a second and say that for me, my whole life, even as just a teenage fan of music, you know, between Thin Lizzy, Leonard Skinner, Allman Brothers, and Aerosmith, I mean, those were all two guitar bands.
Mm-hmm.
So I had just been so steeped in that, you know, having two good players and, you know, he's going to take a solo, this guy will take a solo, they'll work out some stuff together. I think it had always kind of peppered my thinking, and certainly I had a desire to write that kind of stuff myself. So it was kind of funny that when Brother Kane was together, that, if you remember, the 90s was kind of the anti-guitar solo
Totally.
period.
Yeah.
And I just remember, you know, focusing heavily on my songwriting and lyric writing and stuff like that. And the guitar playing was more kind of an afterthought. So fast forward to me, you know, getting to join Lizzy and play with Scott Gorham, you know, my hero.
Oh,
Then we put Black Star Writers together, purposefully writing new songs that are in the Thin Lizzy, kind of in that spirit. You know, and you'd literally be sitting in the studio with Scott and go, "Hey man, I got an idea for this line." And he goes, "Oh yeah, let me put a harmony on that." It's like, all right, we're doing it. It's happening.
I mean, you know, and you know, I know you're a fan, as I am, and I can't imagine the elation you have to feel from doing that. You know, sitting next to Scott Gorham, being a fan of what he's done, and
Yeah, it definitely took me a little while to kind of get comfortable. Thank goodness Scott and I had met a couple of years previous. We actually met on the golf course. Alice and I played around the golf with Scott one time. And that was my first opportunity to meet Scott. So I could get kind of that nervousness out of the way.
That's a good way.
Yeah. So we had kept in touch via email, and, you know, he had asked for some of my music, which was really cool of him. So he wasn't really familiar with Brother Kane or Slave to the System or any of that stuff. So he was super cool, man. So when that position opened up and you know, they called me to see if I was interested, I just remember kind of putting my game face on pretty quick, you know, and saying, "All right, man, it's all business right now. Let me get a handle on these parts." So to your question about how do you determine who's going to play what, you know, Scott's already got his parts worked out. So I knew, you know, if it was mid-level period, I'm going to take the Brian Robertson parts. If it was Black Rose, I'm taking Gary's parts. If it's Chinatown, I'm playing Snowy White's parts. So,
right.
You know, that part of the decision or
kind of made already.
Pretty simple. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different, you know, unless you just consider yourself the Gorham now, and, you know, he just takes all those parts. That would be the easy way. Is that how you guys did it?
Yeah. I just,
okay.
You know, Richie and I had a phone call, and he said, "I guess I'm taking all of Scott's parts." I said, "All of them. Just, you know, just work it out. If you got any questions, let me know." And there's a couple of the arrangements we've taken some liberties with, you know, stretch them out a little bit. You know, one, to make it cool for the fans, and two, to make it even more fun for us. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. This is Lizzy stuff's got to be the most fun to play for a guitar player. I mean, it's incredibly melodic, and it's incredibly complex and challenging, and it's just driving and beautiful, and there's everything about it is just so great. I mean, it's the ultimate guitar stuff.
It's just badass, man. Those songs are just they're so fantastic, and we're thrilled, man. You know, we're now experiencing the fulfillment of having people like yourself that are excited about it, and, you know, grateful to you for spreading the word. And because you know, it's a one-off event, man. You know, it'll be happening Friday, so we want to try to get as many eyes and ears on it as they can. Hey, I want to mention something important to you. I want to make sure people understand that if they can't watch it at 7 p.m. Central on Friday, it's all good. They'll have 48 hours to watch the whole show whenever they want to.
Yep. And that is important.
And they can even, you know, they can watch it multiple times. So so
Yeah.
that's a really good, that's why I love this platform, Veeps. They've done a great job, and I know my fan base, tiny though it is, they've expressed a lot of gratitude for that.
Yeah, and I like I was saying, I did see Dirty Honey do this, and they did it through Veeps, and it's, let me tell you, folks, it's pretty great. It's really organized, really well done. Camera angles are great, multi-camera. It was just really great to watch. It was almost like you were there, for sure.
Almost.
Pretty close. You know, as close as you're going to get these days, really.
Yeah,
And that's damonjohnson.veeps.com.
that's
And
right.
that's Veeps, Veeps.
Correct. Thank you.
Definitely get on there, because and if you get a chance to see it at 7 o'clock at live like that, you can still watch it.
Oh
So,
yeah.
and then, which is, any fan will. I know I did it even with that Dirty Honey show. I watched it live, and then I watched it again right after. And I can't wait to do that with this. This is going to be something to see you and Richie go at those songs. I can't even imagine it. Wow. For my techie guys, what are you going to be playing? I see that Les Paul back there.
Yeah, we're definitely heavy on the Les Pauls. Richie brought, he's got a beautiful, beautiful collector's choice replica of Ed King's Red Eye 59 Les Paul that my Nashville neighbor Jason Isbell actually owns the actual original guitar.
Wow.
I'm sure that was cheap. Not.
Yeah.
But Richie brought that guitar, and there's no way he's showing up without his flying V. So
I don't know that I've seen Richie without a flying V.
Yeah.
It'll be really weird to see him play a Les Paul.
Yeah, so he'll be switching between those two. And I'm playing my Wizard amps that I've played forever. Richie brought those gorgeous white Marshall half stacks, and it's just gonna be great, man. It's not to be missed.
Oh, for sure. And like I say, I've been listening to the Lizzie stuff even more now, and thinking about you guys playing it. And I mean, I know that obviously you were chosen for that job of actually in Thin Lizzy playing that. So, I know you obviously know those parts, and I'm really anxious to see Richie, just bounce stuff off of you, and you guys just working those songs together.
I promise you, you won't be disappointed, brother.
I
And
know it.
I guarantee you're going to see lots of smiles and some laughs, and it's just going to be a great time, man. We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Do you have a favorite song to play? I mean, you got to have that one that just really, you get done playing it, you go, that is just the monster right there.
I think the song that I'm most looking forward to playing is a song on the Black Rose album called "Got to Give It Up."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but even as a fan of Thin Lizzy, when they were still a band, I discovered Thin Lizzy in '79. I was in the 10th grade. So there was something about the lyric in that song. It just felt so poignant and powerful. And it is, I guess, not ironic that, Phil left us kind of another casualty of substance abuse. And when you listen to the lyric to "Got to Give It Up," it's almost like he's telling us straight right then, like, man, I know this is a path I don't need to be on.
Crying out for some help,
Yeah, man. And it's powerful for me to be standing at the microphone and singing and playing that song, knowing that he wrote those lyrics. And I certainly wish he was still with us. It's been great for me to get to play guitar in Thin Lizzy, but I'd way rather have Phil still here and get to go see him in person. But definitely, man, I love that song. I mean, I love all those songs, but I have to say, "Got to Give It Up" is definitely one of the favorites for me.
What's great too is you're actually playing that song. And you've announced that you're playing deep cuts, and there's one of them. And
Yeah, that's a deep cut for sure.
yeah, and that's so cool because that's what fans really want to hear. Boys of
Yeah.
Town, you're gonna play it. I know you're gonna play it, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
great. You got to play it.
I love the
Uh,
Boys of Town as
love
much
it.
right now as I did when I was a kid. So
Yep, yep, it's a great song. But
never get tired of playing that one.
no, but it's like that's kind of the given. It's those little surprises like Got to Give It Up that are gonna, really hold people. I think the fan is really gonna dig what you're doing there.
Well, brother, I assure you, you especially as a Thin Lizzy fan, you will not be disappointed, my friend.
I
I
cannot
assure
wait.
you.
I cannot.
Hey, I've got my publicist girls are dinging my other phone over here, telling me I've got to do another interview.
Okay. All right.
But is there any other questions you had? Is there anything else we need to cover?
Damon, I could stay with you all day long, man. I'm a big fan of yours too. I so appreciate it, man. And I've been following you for a long time, obviously.
Thank you so much, brother. Listen, man, I appreciate it. Shout out to all of your listeners and your supporters. You've given them the ticket link, and man, the easiest place to keep up with me is just my website, damonjohnson.com. We've got a new website for the new band entity, which is now Damon Johnson and the Get Ready. That might even be a tip of the hat to Thin Lizzy. Are you ready? Get ready. You see what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, man. No doubt. No doubt. And let me just mention that you got an album coming out. Battle Lessons is the title cut. And that is crowdfunded. Can people still go to Indiegogo?
Yes, they can still go to Indiegogo.com. All they got to do is type in Damon Johnson. It'll pull up the pre-order campaign. I'm really thrilled with how that's gone. There's some super cool stuff there.
Yeah, we can golf with you, man.
Yeah, man. A lot of cool options for the fans.
Yeah.
And all my socials are on my website too, man. I've been very engaged on everything, man. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So it's an exciting time right now. God, I'm grateful for it, man.
Man, it's so great to see you, and thank you so much for your time. And it's great to see you finding this kind of success and having fun in these times, man. That's cool.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thanks thanks for your help and for talking up the show. And I hope I see you in person really soon.
I hope so, man. That's cool.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
When
you get a chance, come to Chicago, man. I'll be there.
Love Chicago.
Awesome.
Did you see it play with UFO?
No, I saw you. You didn't play. You played Chicago with UFO?
Yeah, we played Joliet, and we played what's the two venues up there? There's the Genesee Theater.
Yep, in Waukegan, and
Waukegan.
The Arcada.
Yes.
Oh no way!
It was killer, man.
Wow. Yeah, I saw a UFO show. That couldn't have been you.
Yeah, maybe we were on that date, but I love Chicago, man. It was great to Brother Kane, and it's been great to my solo stuff too. So I'll see you soon then.
Awesome, man. Hey, thanks again for your time, Damon. Take care.
All right, brother. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.